Alright, we're back with Star Control 2 here, the Quan Masters. We just met the Melnerme, the Master Traders, with whom we can't trade yet because we don't have any biological information or Rainbow Worlds to tell them about yet. And we just successfully mined out a couple planets with some tragic loss of life, sadly. And we're going to be moving on to investigate this race, the Pakunk, that the Ilroth told us about when we fought them on back at the beginning of the game. And honestly, if the Ilroth are beating them up, they got to be some people we like because the Ilroth are jerks. All right, star map. We're going to the G-class system. Let's actually zoom in a bit here. Come here. There we go. So we're headed down this way. I think it's Ada G-class we want. Which is the one we want? It is Ada G-class. Might as well head down to here. Damn it. I didn't set the course there. That was dumb. There we go. Something's chasing us. Oh, fuck. Alright, we can't really take these guys yet. So we're gonna talk to it, and then we'll probably run away.
We come in peace.
We reach out our appendage in friendship. What is your response?
Mission description follows. Traverse space reporting data. Seek materials for replication. Replicate to expand scope of mission. Contact life forms in peaceful manner. After 10 replications, return to point of origin. End of mission description. Priority override. New behavior dictated. Must break target into component materials.
That seems bad, so we're gonna run away from it. Okay. Because we totally can't take them right now. Yeah, those are the Salandro probes. They are a pain in the ass, and we don't have the appropriate stuff yet to take them. The Earth Cruiser and the Spathy Looter aren't particularly good against them. They're beatable, they're just a pain in the butt. Aha! These are not those stupid probes, so we'll talk.
Welcome to our home stars. We are the Pakunk. Pakunk we are. Seekers of the deepest truths, askers of interesting and significant questions. Even now, a question of great transcendental significance comes up into our minds. Who are you and what do you want?
Alright, well, we've got a bunch of different options here. We are friendly beings who seek to establish friendly relations with our species. Hey, Bird Brain's got any Fruit Loops? Har har har. We are seekers of truth, enlighten us, but we'll be nice.
Although we Pakunk have no rank, no pecking order, no arbitrary scheme of dominance, we do recognize that some of the souls in this universe have lived many lives, while others are but spiritual chickadees. I, Captain, have lived 38 lives, a paltry number compared to those wise and ancient souls who guide our race. You must consult them, Captain. They will help you to understand yourself, and in doing so, understand others, who in turn may or may not understand other things. Seek those wise birds at our home world, at Gamma Kruger 1. They have all the answers.
to the people in the chat, this is a Pakunk. They are New Age crystal hippie toucans. They're awesome. They're hilarious. We're dedicated to our Quan hierarchy. Can you help us?
See the wise ones at our homeworld, Captain. Go to Gamma Kruger for your answers.
Okay, bye.
Yes, by all means, if duty is calling. I'm sure we'll see each other again. Perhaps when the stars are aligned in an appropriate configuration. Yes, my inner voice is telling me that is correct. When the stars align, Captain.
I genuinely love the Pakunk. They're one of my favorite alien races. I love them. They're just fun. That's another Pakunk ship. We're not going to talk to him right now, so... Alright, which planet were we going to here? Gamma... Eta class 4. Alright. 3, 4. There we go. So as you're probably beginning to figure out, this game is a lot of exploring space, mining, some combat, space combat, and interacting with aliens, and it's a lot of fun. I love this game so much. And this is an Emerald World. Emerald Worlds are the least valued. Basically, it's Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby in terms of how awesome they are in terms of minerals. Alright, and then... Alright, and then we're going to go to Gamma Kruger. Because we need to talk to the Pakunk. I think Gamma Kruger is just an Ilrath space, which is unfortunate. There it is. I'd explore the other planets right now, but I'm not going to at the moment. Honestly, when you're playing through, if you don't have my copious notes, I would recommend doing more direct exploration and mining and such than I'm doing. It helps, but you can... Honestly, there's a lot of fun in doing that, so I would recommend doing that.
Do not be frightened. We are powerful creatures, yes. But we could not hurt you any more than we could squish the helpless pootworm. We love the pootworm. We are one with the pootworm. We are one with you. Of course you realize this means you are one with the pootworm. Rejoice! To be one with the pootworm is to be alive! And why not be alive? Is that not what living is for?
Okay. Bye.
Yes, by all means, if duty is...
Yeah, we'll skip through that. We'll have to talk to this one, too.
Great things and various apropos felicitations. We are Pakunk, hatchlings of light, spiritual soul beings of the vast cosmic oneness, wayfarers on the river of destiny, students of the mystical dimensions, purveyors of blissful love, bird-like manifestations of glorious light energies from the astral plane. How about yourselves?
We're fine, but we gotta go.
Yes, by all means, if duty is calling.
I wish I'd gone for a bit more speed than I did. Alright. I apologize for the gonna skip through most of this right now. As fun as they are, we're just gonna get through this quickly. I should have swapped one turning module for another speed module. That was a mistake. Oh well. I probably could have gotten away with one fewer cargo module, it looks like. Oh well. Alright, here we are in the home system. Going to there. No, don't talk to me yet. Please let me get to your system without talking to all of you. God damn it!
I sense.
Yeah. Alright, they all backed off after that, thank you. Here we go. By the way, you go to an alien race's homeworld, they have infinite starships, so you really can't win there for the most part.
What? A spirit voice rings within my soul. It tells me that I must give you something to aid you on your noble quest. What, spirit? What must we give this young human? Mineral resources?
Yes!
No.
Aw.
Important secret?
Sure, that'd be good.
No.
What?
Starship?
Yes?
No.
Oh.
Then what is it, spirit? Spit it out. What? That thing? Are you sure? Okay, here you go, Captain. Take this clear spindle. It is an ancient and powerful device built by the precursors hundreds of thousands of years ago. What does it do, you ask? I haven't the slightest idea. Auspicious portents and serendipitous omens have foretold your arrival. Welcome, alien guests, to the home of the gentle and playful Pecan, children of the cosmic light, hobgoblins of joy, seekers of spiritual truth, and other neat stuff like that.
Alright, well, we got a clear spindle from them. This turns out that it's actually incredibly important, but... perhaps we should introduce ourselves. I'm Captain Peterson, in command of the Vindicator.
Yes, we know all that. We are not known throughout the galactic sector as powerful psychics for nothing. Of course, we already know the answer to this next question too, but we enjoy conversation. Why have you come here?
We have come to your homeworld. Okay, our options are: we have come to your homeworld to offer you aid and assistance. This vessel is at your service. We come to ask for your help in the fight against the Quan. We are on a 5-year mission to seek out new life and civilizations. Both go where you get the idea. We're kind of exploring, or we have no reason. Just without taking a little bit for truth, thought, look, would you look where we ended up? We've come to ask for your help in the fight against the Quan.
The fight, always the fight. We Pecan are yin and you are yang. I suppose the problem is that the Quan are a little more yang than you are. Well, be that as it may, we are sympathetic to your concerns. We were not always the mystical, aloof, and yet caring, enlightened beings that we are now. If need be, we can still kick some serious butt. Let us unite and form an alliance.
Woohoo!
We will provide you with all of the crew, ships, and resources you desire.
Double woohoo!
Give you... Wait! I sense that you are offended by our crass material offer.
No, I'm not!
Yes, I am ashamed.
No, that was good.
Any warmongering species could offer this. We are Pecan, children
No,
of the
resources are
seas.
good.
We shall give you what all others could not. The greatest of gifts.
Better?
We shall give you our love. You are speechless. Do not talk now. I can feel the energy connecting us. Let us part while the silence remains. Farewell. But wait, before we go, as a small token of our love, not as a material gift, mind you, we give you 4 of our meager ships, fully crewed. Good luck.
Well, we got some ships. And their ships are actually kind of awesome, so...
Whoop-de-dee and Charlie-bazoo! What a good day I am having! First, my nestmate surprises me with extra fat and spicy grabs for early meal. Then I am complimented on my fine display of ceremonial tongues. To top it off, I encounter the human friend, loved by all Pekunk. Can things get any better?
What's news?
Ah, vague omens and mysterious portents, tangled webs of fate, intertwined with the branches of destiny, blown by the capricious winds of happenstance. News, actually there is some news. It just so happens that it has come to our attention that Toga and Kazon, the two gods of the Ilrath, may actually be a hoax. We don't know who this hoax would have been perpetrated by, but it seems someone has used these fictitious gods to send the Ilrath down on us.
They had a little trouble defeating the Urquan hierarchy.
Well, not advice exactly, but I can offer you plenty of moral support. Also, I can tell you about another dream. Yes, perhaps I will tell you about my dream. In this dream, there was a small creature, fragile and weak. Above it loomed a much larger creature, dark and foreboding. The large creature was preparing to take the smaller one into its slavering jaws, when the little one looked up and said, "Hold, why do you do this? What you are doing is wrong." This made the large creature pause, while it pondered the question. Then I woke up, and I'm not sure if the little creature got eaten or not. Come to think of it, it really wasn't much of a dream. I would have much preferred Ocky Birdie's dream. Anyway, just thought I would tell you about that.
Aha. Tell me my fortune?
Not at all. You are an open book to me. Ah, how quaint your little life is. So refreshing. Anyway, I see in your future that you will be jumping across the galaxy through dimensional doorways which are at your beck and call. This ability you shall receive from a mysterious and yet somehow I sense lovable alien race called the Arilu Lalile, or Lalilu Arile, or Lupilu Happy Day, or something like that. Also, I sense that you will have 14 children and die at an early age. Goodbye, Captain! When the crystal spheres once more rotate into harmonic union, we shall meet again. The stars are in...
Shut up.
Goodbye!
Damn it. I didn't mean to run into that one there. I'm trying to get to their homeworld again because there's some more dialogue I missed.
Captain, we have been expecting you, of course. In fact, you're here because we wished you to be here. By channeling our psychic energies through a trans-dimensional flux inducer, we were able to affect the low-frequency stream of a soul particle such as yourself and direct its course. The only thing is, we can't remember why we brought you here.
Aha. I find myself very curious about your species.
Not at all. We are, after all, a fascinating species. Of course, modesty prevents me from talking at length, although perhaps if you were to ask me specific questions, propriety might be better served.
Sure, what about the history of the Pekunk?
Ah, an intelligent question. But where to begin? Surely you know that we Pekunk were once one and the same species as the Yehat. Yes, it's true. We were once brutal birds of prey, oblivious to the mysteries of crystal magic or the 7 dimensions of psychic beings. It was not until Weeny Winky Bitty Birdie sat on the mystical egg of ice-like temperature and gave the original squawk, ruff, 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 that our transformation began. It was the squawk, ruff, 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 that that triggered the harmonic oscillations that would lead us to become the enlightened aliens that we are.
What about the Ahot? Are you friendly with them?
That depends on how you define friendly. We love our Yehot brethren, whereas they open fire on our vessels on sight. Fortunately, our psychic abilities allow us to sense the deep, abiding love, and yes, even shyness in our Yehot brothers and sisters. How we must have hurt them when we left so long ago. Soon, though, it will be time for the loving reunion, as our destiny is fulfilled, and we are once again reunited as one people.
Aha. Sure. Okay, tell us about your culture.
Just off the top of my beak, I suppose I would say that our culture could be defined as the ultimate unification, or oneness, if you will, of the extra-dimensional convergent chakra being energies to form a togetherness self, which both is and is not a combination of the now essence.
Do you refer to the now essence as an extension of the cosmic whole, or as a subset of the totality of oneness?
An excellent question. The answer is in itself an answer containing the explanation you seek, and more. Let me say, the revelation includes the mysteries of pyramid power, which is merely a subset of the greater and more general pointy power. UFOs and FOs are significant, but their role should not be overplayed. I'm sorry, but I can be no more specific than that.
Aha. Can you really see into the future?
Yes, it's wait! A vision comes upon me. A shining light. A crack in the egg. A swirling vortex. A tunnel. I see my past lives. Your past lives. More shining light. Ah, there it is now, the future. It's coming in clearer. Yes, I see tears. Tears of joy! They are coming from our Yehot brothers and sisters, who welcome us back to the nest, wings outstretched, beaks stuffed with grubs. Soon we shall return. Soon.
Aha. I'd love to hear more about your culture, but, we should look at the time. Bye!
Yes, you are right. I should be careful not to overwhelm you with my psychic intensities. Perhaps we could talk about something less overwhelming, albeit less interesting.
Tell us about the Ilrath.
Why should we mind? We bear the spidery creatures no ill will. Without darkness, there is no light. Without death, there is no birth. And thanks to the Ilrath, there's lots of birth.
Aha. It's my impression, just my impression, they seem rather hostile. Why is that?
We have delved most deeply into the dark and greasy heart of the Ilrath. And what do you suppose we found there? Well, we found a torpid, vile, malign, odious, spiteful spirit. Right, no surprises there. What did surprise us, though, was what we saw when we regressed into the past lives. It turns out that in their last lives, the Ilrath were all shining beings of pure light and blissful love. They had reached the pinnacle of spiritual evolution and could go no further. They were perfection. And then, somehow, they got just a tiny bit better, and wham! They were all of a sudden totally evil. Wouldn't you know it? Get too perfect and you wrap right around to evil. That's why we become strive to be perfect, but always do little bad and annoying things to keep from ending up like the Ilrath.
Alright, why was it they started attacking you?
Well, that's easy. It was exactly 27,000 rotations of the 7th planet in the House of Party Fun. Before the first alignment of the auspicious constellation of Bit with the heavenly body of Shamlasul, which was really only a partial alignment. I guess you would say 8 years ago.
How are you faring in the fight against them?
We have calculated that at our present rate of attrition, we will exist only on the spiritual plane in a matter of a year or so. Of course, the physical realm does hold a certain coarse attraction, a material quaintness, if you will. We will be somewhat disappointed to have to leave it.
Alright. Is there any way to stop them?
An interesting question. The answer would be yes. If some benign and loving, yet incredibly destructive and powerful force were to simultaneously rip off all of their legs and drop their putrid egg sacs into steaming pools of molten metal, that would have the desired result of ending the conflict. Ah, but I jest. Of course, I bear the era no ill will. How could I, when I'm filled only with love? Yes, you're right. Why dwell on the heinous era when we could speak of flowers, rainbows, fairies, and crystal magic? Did you know, for example, that there is an invisible fairy spirit at this moment sitting on your head and making humorous faces at me? Ah, the mysteries of the universe. Try to understand them, but can you? Nope, they're mysteries. Well, kind human, return soon.
Alright, we're gonna head back home now. Alright. Hopefully we'll be able to make it back. Let's save game here. Now we have to be careful because we're flying through Ilrath space, and I'd rather not fight the Ilrath right now if I can avoid it. Kunk are actually sort of okay against Ilrath, so I'd probably take them, but I'd rather not run the risk. Those dots back here are probably Ilrath. And you guys may have noticed that the a lot of what they said, they really do come across as sort of Fruit Loopy and full of bullshit, but there, as Beck in the chat points out, it all sounds like bullshit, but their info actually, like, all their actual factual information actually checks out. They actually really do have a lot of really useful info. I made it back intact. Good. Lost more crew than I wanted to, but we'll cope.
I hope the battle fares well, Captain. There's something I think you should know. We are being bathed in a broad beam hyperwave transmission from the direction of the Rigel star system. Due to the broadcast wide dispersion, we cannot discern its content.
Okay, somewhere in Rigel we're being contacted. Interesting. Let's offload minerals.
Excellent work, Captain. The analysis reads as follows. Subject, clear spindle device. Data, the object in question has no clear use or means of activation, but does have superconductive characteristics between 18 and 22 degrees centigrade. We suspect that it is of precursor manufacture, but we cannot be certain without extended study. Summary, in all likelihood, this object is part of a larger device whose capabilities remain unknown. That's the end of our scientist's report.
Alright, that's useful. Let's grab a little background info, because there's some useful stuff here.
Certainly, Captain. What do you need to know?
Let's grab some historical data.
What aspect of history, Captain?
let's go about the war against the hierarchy.
What about the war?
How did the war start?
Earth got involved late in the game in 2112 when the Chenjesu arrived in our solar system for the first time. So let's back up a few years to 2098 when the Chenjesu super-sensitive receivers detected a strange signal from the Ophiuchi constellation. Though even the Chenjesu didn't know it, it was the first sign of the Quan arrival. The Quan, having detected the presence of many sentient species, were beaming out an exulting hunting cry. The first direct evidence of the Quan's intent was the sudden conquest of the Umga, a solitary though not unfriendly species in the Orionis constellation. The Chenjesu, distraught by the invasion, were further angered when the Quan turned their fleets on the hostile but weak Ilrath race. A hastily assembled defense force of Myrna Hermann Chenjesu vessels turned the Quan fleet aside, but the invader moved into Spathi space, rapidly subjugating that race. With each new conquest, the Quan fleet grew larger as it added slave vessels to its ranks. Earth joined the Chenjesu to form the Alliance of Free Stars at about the same time as the Androsynth stars fell to the Quan Armada. Before the ink was dry on our agreement with the Chenjesu in 2116, a new race appeared in orbit around the moon and asked for admittance to the Alliance. It was the Arilu Lalile. Timing seemed unusual, and the Arilu were definitely weird, looking like saucer men from Mars, but we were too busy cranking up our mothballed heavy industry that we really didn't pay it much attention at the time.
All right, what happened during the war?
At the start of the war, here on Earth, we were working like crazy, churning out hundreds of heavy cruisers and smaller support vehicles. The Quan were busy too. Unbeknownst to us, they had moved down towards the Luton Star Group and were attacking the Vux, who only the Yehat knew existed. Our botched first contact with the Vux took place in 2119, and it was the biggest single mistake we made during the war. After defeating the Vux, the Quan fleets ran smack into the combined might of the Yehat and Shofixti, supported by the first wave of our cruisers. Again, the Quan turned away from the hard spot to attack the weak, though we just thought they were running away. In fact, the Quan had found another independent alien race, the Mycon, in the Brahi constellation. The Mycon's voluntary submission to the Quan brought the return of the Quan fleets, now swollen with 100 devastating Mycon pod ships. The last entrants to the conflict were the Cyrene, a race of space gypsies who had escaped the hierarchy by moving their vast fleet of slow-moving habitats into human space. With the side set, the last Quan offensive began.
All right, how did the war end?
The Quan came roaring through Vux space and tried to push past the India and Mira star systems. Their onslaught was barely repulsed, and our counterattack made hardly a dent in the hierarchy forces, but we held the line. The coreward front remained intact. Over the following 10 years, there were many great battles between the combined Alliance Starfleet and the Quan and their hierarchy of battle thralls. Then in 2134, a dramatic shift in the balance of power took place. This must have been about the time the science research mission was sent to the planet of Vela. Our fleets were pushed back from the Indy-Mira line beyond Raynet. Holding Rigel caused grievously in Chenjesu forces, and the Quan, recognizing this weakness, shifted to focus the brunt of their forces on Procyon. That was the last we heard from the Chenjesu and the Myrna Herm. A few weeks later, waves of ships hit us from all directions. When Ceres Station, our outpost on the asteroid belt, fell to the hierarchy, we knew we were beaten, but we fought on anyway. 3 days later, the Quan vaporized our last remaining laser forts on the moon, and the dreadnoughts took up geosynchronous position above Rome, Moscow, Beijing, Tokyo, London, Buenos Aires, and Washington. We'd lost the war, and we knew it. But the Quan decided to make it real clear. And that's why if you check any of our most recent maps, you won't find Buenos Aires.
Well, oh dear. Damn. All right, what happened after the war?
After the UN submitted their formal surrender, we were given a week to decide the nature of our servitude. The Quan demanded that the decision be made through popular vote. When all the votes were tallied, Earth had chosen not to fight for the Quan. We had become a fallow slave world. We were given a month to withdraw all of our people and equipment to Earth. Anyone or anything left off planet would be destroyed after the shield went up. Then the Quan broadcast an odd message. All objects of human construction more than 500 years old were to be abandoned. We didn't know what the Quan meant until they moved their dreadnoughts into new orbital positions and opened fire on the surface with their fusion weapons. In seconds, large sections of London, Paris, and other European cities were incinerated. At first, we thought they were going to annihilate us after all. And we noticed they were also striking such targets as the Giza Pyramids, the Parthenon in Athens, and Stonehenge. Curiously, the United States was almost untouched. The flaming rain lasted 40 hellish hours. It took days after we crawled from our smoldering shelters to realize what the Quan had done. Our new masters had targeted every building, monument, or other man-made construction older than 500 years and destroyed it. In those 2 days, we lost most of the history of mankind. In some cases, the Quan destroyed places we did not even suspect were significant. From their positions in orbit, the dreadnoughts blew away a kilometer of land in central Iraq, vaporized several targets in the Amazon rainforest, punched a big hole through the Antarctic ice cap to destroy something deep under the surface, and melted a broad swath of the ocean floor in the southeastern Atlantic. Then, just a couple of days later, the shield went up, and our contact with the outside world stopped. The next time I saw the stars was 8 years ago, when I was transferred up here to be the new commander of this starbase.
Well, damn.
Would you like any information on any other aspect of history?
Talk about the other Starfaring races.
Which group of aliens?
Let's talk about the Old Alliance first.
Okay. Which race?
The Shovixti, sure.
The Shovixti are a race of intelligent marsupials who had been civilized for only a few decades when the war began. They were discovered in the Delta Gorno star system by the Yehat, who adopted and then uplifted the Shovixti, giving them advanced technology and cultural definition. Shovixti are noble and fearless warriors, Captain. In addition, their incredible fecundity and rapid maturation rate kept Alliance ranks solid even at the worst part of the war. You know, I once flew as an observer aboard one of their ships on routine patrol. We never saw the enemy, but I could never stop thinking about the glory device it had strapped to the bottom of its hull.
Yeah. Alright, how about the Ahat?
The Yehat are a race of ancient warrior clans that have been traveling the stars for many centuries. Clans are highly competitive and sometimes even wage war on each other, but the clans are all loyal to the Queen and her royal family, known as the Veepzeeps. The Veepzeeps have been in power for over 2,000 years, and it is said that during their rule, the Yehat never lost a battle.
How about the Arlu?
I'd like to think I'm not a bigoted person, Captain, especially when it comes to allies, but there's just something about those Arilu that gives me the creeps. One thing I'll say for them, though, they possess some technique for moving really fast through hyperspace. They never let us know what it was, but sure beats the pants off our fastest ships.
How about the Shinjesu?
The Shinjesu were leaders of the Alliance, even though they refused to accept formally the title. I don't know if their silicon-based biology is just plain superior to our old carbon models, or if their fantastic intellect were the product of an ancient, peaceful culture. Whatever the reason, I'd rather be taking orders from a Shinjesu than any other life form, absolutely. One of the more amazing things about them was they never used hyperwave communicators. They could send messages naturally, and their natural hyperwave receptors were much more sensitive than even our best units.
Alright, how about the Mermerm?
We didn't really get much of a chance to learn about those mechanical beings, but I'll tell you what I know. They're the product of a distant, unknown culture who sent a giant factory ark into our region of space many centuries ago. The Mother Ark, that's what the Earth Press called it, churned out millions of robots and finally broke down. I don't know why the Murnerherm didn't repair the Mother Ark. Maybe they can't. My personal guess as to why they were sent here is that they're on the leading edge of a colonization project. And once the Murnerherm have tamed enough new worlds, the genuine colonists, whoever they are, will arrive and claim their due.
And the Cyrene.
Most raw recruits saw the Cyrene as nothing more than warm, breathing pinups. Warm they are, and yes, they do breathe most magnificently, but Captain, they are far more than simple joy units. The history shows the Cyrene established and maintained a peaceful culture from their Bronze Age through their discovery of starflight. Before their planet was destroyed in a horrible cataclysm, their world was an Eden.
All right, so
What
the
other
lines
group
for
of
the moment.
aliens are you interested in?
How about the battle thralls?
Which species?
The Mycon.
The Mycons are hard to get a handle on. In fact, I'm not sure any human has ever had a real conversation with a Mycon. What we know of them, we've learned from their corpses, which, I may add, have a nasty habit of coming back to life when thawed out from a decompression quick freeze. Mycon ships seem to expend a significant amount of energy on life support. This is probably because the Mycon only thrive in temperatures close to the melting point of lead. As far as we know, the Mycon are the only race to actively seek out the Quan in order to become combat slaves.
Weird. Spathy.
Imagine facing a cowardly, mobile clam armed with a howitzer, and you've got a good idea of what it's like dealing with a Spathy. Although they tend to avoid battles as much as their masters will allow, once in battle, a Spathy eluder is one tough cookie. I once heard a rumor, though I don't like to believe in it myself, that a rogue band of courageous Spathy broke away from the main Starfleet, painted their ships black with bright red stripes, and formed the Black Spathy Squadron, dedicated to performing brave and hostile deeds. Like I said, I'd have to see it to believe it.
Yeah. How about the Umga?
It's unfortunate that the Umga fell to the Urquan so early in the war, because I suspect we would have gotten along well with those big blob creatures. At the very least, it would have been entertaining. We know them a bit better than most races because they were eager to talk with our ships before, after, and during battle. The Arilu intimated that they had a relationship with the Umga before the Urquan arrived, but I don't know any details.
All right, the Anderson.
When I was flying combat missions along the Corward Front, there was nothing we feared more than the Androsith hit-and-run squadron. Their blazer ships were more than a match for our cruisers, so we stayed clear of Eta Vulpeculae, their home star. In addition, I think each of us aboard the ship knew deep down in our hearts that the Androsith had a damn good reason for hating us. Our grandparents had kept them as slaves for nearly 50 years.
All right, as a little background, the Anderson are a race of... They're basically the replicants from Blade Runner. Basically, they were invented by humanity and were used because they're artificial life forms, and they were used as, they were basically enslaved. And eventually, Anderson rebelled and broke away and developed their own ships and stuff. And they hate humanity for obvious reasons.
I still have nightmares about those spiders taking me prisoner, using me as one of their 6 sacrifices to Dogar and Kazon, their twin gods of destruction and torment. Those guys were almost as scary as the Anderson to those of us in Deep Space Patrol. Their Avenger ships could appear out of nowhere and melt a cruiser down to slag in seconds. Luckily for us, the bulk of the Ilrath fleet was thrown against the Chenjesu and the Myrnaherm.
And lastly, the Bucks.
The Starship Far Voyager under the command of Captain Jeffrey L. Rand encountered the Vux near Beta Mira. Although the details are hazy, it's generally accepted that Rand offended the Vux starship commander with an inadvertent insult.
All right.
What other group of aliens are you interested in?
Let's get the last one here. Any alien races who weren't in the war?
None that we had made formal contact with. The Chenjesu implied that they had met 2 other star-faring species, one near the Gickless constellation and the other directly corward from Procyon. The Arilu Lalile once mentioned having some fun with an alien race in Draconis, but like so much else with the Arilu, they never revealed the whole story. I'm sure there are hundreds more alien races in our galaxy, but beyond what I've told you, your guess is as good as mine.
All right.
Would you like information on any other aspect of history?
All right, let's just finish out the background info here. Ancient galactic history.
We have some data on this subject. What do you want to know about?
What about the precursors?
Hell, you probably know more about them than I do, but here goes. About 200,000 years ago, when our great to the nth grandparents were just starting to play with stone knives and bearskins, a star-faring species suddenly appeared on the galactic scene and spread like wildfire. We found evidence of their presence just about everywhere, from an orbital platform on Alpha Centauri to a stack of data plates in a cave on Pluto to some nameless widget found in a voodoo shop in New Orleans. and we never found a precursor body or even a picture of one, we can conjecture what they look like by examining the scale and layout of their equipment. Such an analysis indicates they were giants, say 5 to 8 meters tall and twice as wide. I don't know if they looked more like a brontosaur or an elephant. Anyway, about 3,000 years after the precursors made their dramatic appearance, they vanished. Poof! As far as we can tell, it took less than a decade to happen.
Any other races of ancient past?
You mean besides the precursors? Well, the only information we have is secondhand based on some research by a Chenzesu historian that I read at the academy. Zed-Sert-Sek, the historian, found some evidence that there was a group of alien races who formed an interstellar empire not too far from here about 22,000 years ago. The only species in this empire who actually lived in our region of space was a race of rock-like creatures who lived in the Vulpeculae constellation. The presence of the hostile androsynth in that part of space severely limited Zed-Sert-Sek's research. He never even found out the race's name.
Any indication the aliens visited Earth in the past?
Yes, there is. Aside from the precursor relics we have found on Earth, often in museums mislabeled as modern art, we've discovered disturbing evidence of much more recent visitations. Perhaps you're already aware that during the mid to late 20th century, there were unaccountable UFO sightings as well as dozens of reported encounters with alien life forms. Although we can discount many of the reports as wishful fabrication or traumatic translation, the military authorities of the time kept a secret record of the incidents which were legitimate. In each such case, the aliens are almost identical in appearance. They have white skin and minimal facial features except for huge almond-shaped eyes, which are often described as glowing or luminescent. This description fits almost perfectly the Arielu Lalile. In most of the legitimate encounters, the people involved describe being physically examined or modified by the aliens. In some cases, unusual pregnancies occurred, and in almost every instance, there were repeat visitations as though the Arielu Lalile were doing checkups on their subjects. We never got the chance to confront the Arielu Lalile about what they did to us and why. I wonder if we ever will.
No idea.
Would you like information on any other aspect of history? Sure. Anything else?
All right, that is it for background info.
Is there
Hooray.
anything else you need? Bring back lots of minerals, Captain.
All right, we're going to... double check something here. I want to make sure I'm going to have enough fuel for this. Alright, we're going to need a bit more in the way of, nope, wrong button. There we go. 5, 6... Let's do the 7 thrusters, that should be enough for now. And that should be enough for that. I think we have enough fuel to buy a backup lander. Let's fully tank up. Alright, we've got full fuel. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? Let's see. First things first, we're actually gonna max out on speed. I want to be able to run away from anything. We don't have enough for 9 volt, another 9 volt gun in those. Alright, well, fine. We're gonna finish maxing out maneuverability. There we go. That'll have to do. That should be good. Alright. Alright, folks. That's going to be it for this part of the recording. Thanks for everybody for watching. We'll be back, and from here we're going to be pushing out to go investigate, do a little bit of mining and investigate that broadcast that Captain Hayes told us about. And maybe we'll meet another friendly alien race, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So, see you guys soon.